Avery Johnson looked to improve incrementally as a passer. I don't want to give him he's Peyton Manning all of a sudden, but he improved incrementally as a passer. Now they maybe did not have all the weapons that they wanted at that position. They're down a very good running back this year, but that's never seemed to be a problem for them.
Right.
Is the wide receiver position improved enough so that he can keep improving?
It's a good question because I agree that they probably weren't where they needed to be at wide receiver for him. He made his share of mistakes. That's Avery Johnson, but the receiver talent probably wasn't good enough yet to maybe compete at a Big 12 championship level like many would have wanted them to do. But he also went through his growing pains last year as well. The BYU game instantly comes to mind where things really snowballed on him, and he made mistake after mistake when playing in probably a really, really tough environment for the first time in his college career as a starting quarterback. So the fact that maybe they weren't where they needed to be last year probably wasn't as limiting as it was that Avery just needed that experience and needed to go through those growing pains. You just don't come into college football or an instant success. That 99.9% of the time that doesn't happen. You need to take your lumps, and I think Avery Johnson did, and I expect him to be incredibly better this year from a decision-making standpoint where he needs to be a lot better, and from a footwork standpoint where he needs to be a lot better in order to improve his accuracy. But from a receiver standpoint, which was the original question, I understand, I think they are better when it comes to their top three, the starters, so to speak, that they will count on. Jace Brown had more yards as a sophomore, receiving yards as a sophomore in Kansas State history than any receiver ever, more than Jordy Nelson, more than Tyler Lockett. So he's nothing to sneeze at. I think he's all Big 12 caliber. And I think Jerron Tibbs, the transfer from Purdue, will be all Big 12 caliber. And if you put people up to a lie detector test in the Veneer Football Family Complex in Manhattan, they might tell you that Jerron Tibbs is the best Kansas State wide receiver this year, even better than Jace Brown, which is a good thing to have both. And then Jaron Bradley would be your third guy that'll likely start for Kansas State. And for those that don't remember, there was a point when he was at Texas Tech where he was so good and so productive that he was a preseason all Big 12 first team selection at one point.